yoga. She's going to talk about some benefits of yoga and go through some basic poses with you. So,
thank you. Hello. Yeah, my name's Sarah Rasby. I'm one of the owners and managers of Lotus House of Yoga Lincoln. I don't know if you guys have heard of us before. I know I see some familiar faces here. But we're right on 17th and Pine Lake Road, and we've been there for about a year. We also have 3 other studios in Omaha, and we're opening up a new studio that's going to be downtown Lincoln as well. That will be the 1st of November. So we're super excited about that. And then I'll also have Amy introduce herself. This is my other manager, Amy.
Amy Gagner, and I'm, what Sarah said, assistant manager at Lotus. And super happy to be here.
Yeah. So also, you know, part of our culture at Lotus is not only having classes in-house, because we have about 40 classes a week on average, and we also get out in the community. We do a lot of community classes, so free events every now and then. We've been down in the rail yard. We'll be at like this weekend we'll be at Antelope Park doing a free class at 10 a.m. And then we also offer a corporate yoga program. And so what that entails is some other details, but I can also have Carly email you, but we can actually like come into businesses and teach yoga, or there's also options for you guys to get special passes to come and take yoga with us. So today, we're just going to be talking about the benefits of yoga, what is yoga if you've never done it, and yeah, and we would love to answer any questions that you have too, because the number one misconception about having to do yoga is you have to be flexible, and that is not true. So yoga increases flexibility. So again, this is just our presentation about the corporate program.
oh, you can click on the arrow in the bottom
Oh,
corner there.
which guy? That guy? That guy?
The one right there. There you go. That one.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh, I haven't done these. Okay. So what is yoga? So yoga, yes, it is a physical exercise, okay? But it also is a science. So it's proven to relieve stress, improve focus, and build strength. So myself, I'm one of the owners at Lotus, but we also have Ann Sweet, who has years and years of experience, Mary Claire Sweet, who is one of our other primary owners, and she has been doing yoga since she was like 15. And all of us, including Amy and myself, have our 500-hour certification. So if you were to think about like a bachelor's degree, a 500-hour certification would be like a master's degree in yoga. So we take it very seriously. It's something that we've all worked very hard about, that we've learned, put so many hours into learning about this science and what it physically and mentally can do for your body. It's an all-inclusive body experience, from the physical part to what it really does for you. So just on average, like, who would say they're stressed out on average or experiences some type of stress? Everybody, right? Everybody can relate to that, yeah. Or maybe like if you have like a physical ailment or something, anything that's chronic to, just like a stomach bug. Yoga can really help with all of those. So the practice of yoga is thousands and thousands of years old, okay? So it actually started like way back in the, I don't even know, can't remember.
5,000 years
5,000 years ago. And it didn't actually start with like the physical postures, but it mostly started with like the very subtle part of the body. And so over time, with the development of what we call asanas, or the yoga postures, again, they were scientifically designed to structure the body and to serve the body in the way of healing. Okay, so you can think about, not only do you get a good stretch, but you increase strength, you also increase stamina, you can increase your focus, and a lot of it has to do with your breath. So we'll just go more into detail on that. Oh, that'd be great. Thanks, Phil. You don't mind? Okay. So yoga is for everybody. So again, I'm not flexible is the number one excuse yoga teachers hear from people. We talk to new people in the community all the time. We're like, you should really come try a class. I'm not flexible, I can't do it. No, that's definitely not a requirement. So you don't have to be flexible to practice. You come to yoga to gain flexibility. So this is just a picture of our studio right now, and that's Amy teaching the class. We have a really, really big room, and we face mirrors, and then the instructor always stays at the top of the room typically. And it's just, everybody comes in, it's a non-competitive atmosphere. And the reason yoga is for everybody is because in our classes we offer a lot of different modifications. We offer different poses so that the practice is designed It's a class that everybody comes to, but you do poses and the modifications of the poses are best for your body. So if you can't get into a handstand, there's a different option for that. If you can't do a full-on warrior two, there's a different way that you can do it. And our teachers, again, are trained and very, very knowledgeable on how to do this for the individual body.
We have lots of props,
We
straps,
do.
blocks, bolsters, things that you can really use to
Yeah.
get yourself wherever you need to be.
Yeah, for sure. So again, that's just a picture of one of our classes. Next slide, please. So let's talk about some more of the benefits of a yoga.
We did not do that in.
Yeah. So this is Mary Claire. This is one of our owners. Again, she's been practicing since she was a teenager. She's 31 now, and she's actually on her way to Turkey right now to do a yoga retreat. So it's pretty cool stuff. But she's an awesome, awesome person. Amy, do you want to talk about the benefits?
Well, you can kind of Sarah touched on it all. That you sleep better.
Yeah.
People want to lose weight sometimes when they come to yoga, and that can happen just because you're doing the exercise, but it also increases your metabolism, and you become really mindful. And so you're going to be really aware of when you're done practicing how kind of refreshed and clean you feel, and you might not go for the bag of Cheetos when you get home. I always sleep better after I practice. I teach a lot of early morning classes, and so that can set up your energy for the day. Your circulation improves. It really gives a big boost to the immune system. I taught a whole immune class this morning where we did some special breathing to kind of clear out the sinuses, did some things with the legs above the head and the heart, and that helps just pump prana and blood in the opposite direction. And you really stay really healthy when you practice yoga. It's kind of amazing. So fewer health problems. You get really strong, really, really strong. You get that flexibility. Transforms your life. It really does.
Yeah, and I would say just, as a personal instructor, like the reason I started practicing yoga was in college. I was just so stressed out. Like I was just so out of my head. And it was, I wanted to get like a handle on life in general. And I wanted to feel good and I wanted to be happy. And I found that that's why I became an instructor, because it changed my life so much that I wanted to share that with other people.
And mine too. I just had a lot of anxiety. Runs in my family. Just a really anxious person. Took my first yoga class, and you take that final pose where you just rest in Shavasana. And I thought, I'm going to keep doing this because it's the first time I've ever been able to relax. And then I started teaching. Well, I practiced yoga for about 14 years, but I worked at an office. And my coworkers said, will you practice yoga? Well, start teaching us. And so they made me start teaching them yoga, and that's how I became a yoga teacher. But just to share that stress relief and anxiety relief.
Exactly. I would say like that's like the subtle part of the practice. And once you start moving your body, not particularly in this pose, but that would be like what we call a very advanced pose, but there's obviously a lot of different modifications you can take, and this would be a back bend pose. And so there's a much easier back bend pose that you could do in a beginner's class. Okay, it's not the expectation that you have to do this or ever do it. I will probably personally never be able to do that pose, but there's other things that I can do. And so again, our bodies are just different. We react to life different. We react to food, drinks, whatever. We all are different individuals, and so that's why the practice is so awesome. You can really be tailored to who you are as a person, what your goals are, all of that. And that's why the benefit is so amazing. But yeah, and definitely. I had a client come in the other day, and he's about 62, and he's an avid runner. Never done yoga before, and he's been taking classes for so long, and he also has a kidney disease, and his doctors were like, you need to take this and this and this, and he was like, nope. So purely by doing yoga and also keeping up with his running and maintaining a diet, he's been able to stay off all of those medications. I've had another client that when she started doing yoga, she was on a handful of medications. And just by breathing and calming herself down and moving her body, she's off all of the medications. So it's an amazing practice that you can do for the rest of your life, right? Okay, thank you. Okay, so we show the adoption of yoga way, we show that adoption of the yoga way of life can bring about better job satisfaction, effective organizational commitment, organizational citizenship behavior, and goal orientation of manners. So this comes from the International Journal of Yoga. So the reason why we started bringing this into corporate businesses is because every day, and I used to live in the corporate life too. Before this, I worked for nonprofits, and it was 8 to 5 every day. By the end of the day, I was tired. The last thing I wanted to do was go work out. During the day, I was stressed out a lot, constantly in the mode doing things, just not really thinking about my health or who I was. And that really affected my job performance. It really did. And so we see this happening a lot. And so a part of corporate yoga is bringing that in to, better yourself not only as a person but also as an employee. Because when you're happier and you're healthier, your productivity is going to increase. You're going to decrease the amount of being absent from work from illness, right? You'll have a better morale because you're just going to be feeling better. Engaged employees, as Amy was explaining, yoga is a very mindful practice, so we talk a lot about focusing on your breath, focusing on the moment, because stress comes from things in your past. You necessarily haven't left your life yet, and anxiety comes from worrying about things about the future. So if you can start to focus on the moment, those things, the stress, like the tension in your shoulders and things like that will literally just melt away from your body. So again, you're just more engaged and you're able to handle stress. I definitely know that my yoga practice has allowed me to show up in my life, and I don't worry so much about obstacles. I just know, and I'm able to roll with it a lot better, and handle it and be more responsive rather than reactive. And that's just purely by coming to the mat and focusing on my breath, you guys. It's like you don't really even have to do much, So it's amazing. And again, positivity increases because, again, the better you feel, the more positive you're going to be about life, the more positive you're going to be about circumstances, the more positive you're going to be about work and what you're passionate about. So, yeah. Next slide. So what to expect from your first class? Amy, you want to go over that? This is beautiful Amy in her pose, too.
That's one of my favorite poses. You could all do that one.
Yeah.
Well, we'd modify it if you couldn't. You got to wear comfortable clothing that you can move in. I think a big thing, people come to their first yoga class and you're like, okay, now take your socks off. They're like, oh, I didn't get a pedicure. So that's your warning now. Like, there's no judgment, but just so you know, you're totally barefoot. So if you want to take care of that, you could.
I know, when my dad first came, I told him to go to yoga class, and I was like, how'd it go? And he goes, well, they made me take off my socks. Dad, is that the worst thing, really? Yeah.
So we have really sticky mats. If you don't have a mat, we always have mats you can borrow at Lotus, but you want your feet to stick, and you'll spend some time actually looking at the foundation of your feet and spreading your toes. It's really beneficial for the whole body. Everybody's a beginner at one time, so you might be in a class and people are doing the MC, big back bend, but those advanced yogis, they're not really watching you. So you can be assured that your practice is on your mat and no one's comparing anybody to anybody. And everybody's been a beginner. There's always a first time for everybody. So just know that you're not only going to be, it's great to have that beginner mind. It really is. You're going to learn to pay attention to your breath, which is really what yoga means. It means union, to yoke your breath with your body and your mind. We practice poses standing, on the back, on the stomach, seated, twists, stretch, strengthen, all kinds of, all planes of your body.
And those are all designed to do certain things for your body. So like a lot of twisting poses are very detoxifying, especially for the internal organs. Like Amy was saying, when if we just do a simple inversion, like putting your legs literally up against the wall, helps the blood flow down and really relaxes the body. And so every pose also will say, oh, you're having trouble sleeping, do legs up the wall, or maybe do like a forward fold, because there's a purpose and an intention for every pose that you do. So.
Each pose is designed to lengthen your spine and to open your heart. So we'll have good posture for the rest of our lives.
For sure.
And then you always end the class with a really lovely kind of reward. It's your resting pose, Shavasana. It's everybody's favorite. That's the #1 request. You guys have anything you want to do today? Can we do Shavasana for the hour?
Yeah.
So, and we at Lotus go around and give a nice little adjustment if you'd like that, a little essential oil, and it's just the reward for your practice. So that's kind of how a typical class unfolds.
Right. We also, it might be a little bit different from other studios, is, we call ourselves the Vibe Tribe. And that's because we firmly believe in living in the highest vibration that you can, okay? And part of that has to do with music. And we really love music, and so we play music in our classes. It might not be a traditional music, really calming when you go get a massage, that type of music, but it's going to be definitely a high vibe, super fun atmosphere. So when you come in, you just feel warm and happy, and so that's kind of, like I said, music is our gateway to do that also. But yeah, thank you. So different styles of yoga. So again, so that you don't have to, this is the legs up the wall pose like I was talking about. You don't have to just, come into that power class and be intimidated and be like, okay, that was way too much for me. Where do I start, right? So we offer a variety of different styles of yoga. We have basic classes, which is great for beginners. We have flow classes, which is like a vinyasa flow, so you're moving pretty fast, like your heart rate's gonna get up. You might do some more advanced postures in that class. A power class is gonna be one of our most challenging classes, so even, I've had people come in that have never done yoga, and they're like, well, I really want something, I want a challenge. So I'm like, okay, try it out, see how it goes. And they love it. So if you're into that, for sure. Yin yoga is a very deep stretching yoga. So yin yoga is awesome because, especially if you sit a lot or if you don't tend to stretch a lot, it's a passive stretch. And so it's a deep, grounding, passive stretch that allows like the joints to loosen up. It's just an awesome, awesome class. Restorative yoga, I teach a restorative yoga on Sundays at 4 p.m. It's one of my most popular classes. It's literally a stress relief class. You come in, you use a bunch of props like bolsters and blankets and blocks, and you just lay there with your eyes closed in a pose, like a really supportive pose, like the legs up the wall one, for anywhere from about 5 to 8 minutes. And so that's an awesome one to start with if you just want to learn about the stress relief or learn about breathing and all of that. That's a great one to start with. Yoga Nidra is also kind of the same. We have a Monday night class at 7:30, and that's a guided meditation class. So you'll start out doing a little restorative yoga, and then the teacher takes you through a guided meditation. And you guys, all of these different styles of yoga, especially Nidra, has been scientifically proven to reduce stress, release anxiety, to improve positivity, all of these things, just again by merely focusing on your breath. It's amazing stuff. And changing the mechanics of your mind, right? It's a lot of brain training too. Kundalini yoga, that's one that we have from time to time. It's a very fiery traditional practice. We don't actually have that class right now, but again, it's an awesome one that we incorporate some of that in our classes, and that has a lot to do with like breath work, core work, things like that. And then meditation, again, that's part of the Yoga Nidra. We do meditation usually at the beginning or the end of a class. Like Shavasana would be like a little meditation. Or we would start at the beginning of a class like just like this, kind of like how he is here in a seated pose. Or maybe we'll start in a child's pose. And we just come in and we cue you to start with your breath, set an intention. And so it's a little bit of meditation. And then bar. We also have hot bar classes. Have anyone here ever heard of bar?
Not like go to the bar and drink.
No. Yoga bar.
We do that too sometimes.
Yeah, we like to have a good time. But so bar classes is kind of like a ballet bar, and it's a mixture, I would say, like kind of Pilates and like weights and resistant bands. It's very toning, very sweaty, very fun, like high vibe music, and we have really awesome bar instructors, so we have those classes too. Any questions about our classes? Yes.
I've not been before, but I am interested, and
Sure.
one of my fears is showing up with a map. And this is really a stupid question, but I know that there's kind of a culture that these are spots. Certain people have their spot.
Our studio's big enough that we don't have that.
No, we don't have that problem. I have like one guy that likes to go in the back corner because he's like, this is the special needs corner over here. So
And those regulars,
Yeah.
if they really have a particular spot, they'll be there early.
they'll be there.
It's not like that in our studio at all.
there's
You know
not.
what I'm, okay, totally, yeah. we know what you're saying.
I totally know.
I have my spot that I like to practice.
Yeah, but no, there's no parking
I don't-
spaces there that
No.
says like you can't be here. Nobody's ever going to yell at you for that or say that's my spot. That's
It's
not
a
gonna
really
happen.
fun
Yeah,
place
it's not
to
the
be.
culture at Lotus.
It's not at all. And you can,
No.
you don't have to be quiet when you go in the studio. We're all talking,
No.
the music's loud, and
Yeah.
it's really fun.
Yeah, but we are actually starting a beginner's yoga class that starts next Wednesdays. It's on Wednesdays from 4:30 to 5:30. It's called Beginner's Flow. So that's a new class that we're starting. And then Amy's actually going to start a Gentle Flow next Thursday, and that's going to be from 4:30 to 5:30 too. And those would be perfect classes.
And then
for you to
basic on
start.
Saturday too. If you're free
Basic
on
on
Saturdays, 10:30, I teach that one. It's a great one.
Yeah, so the beginners, again, it will really break down everything if you just want to learn about the practice. You're like, I don't even know what a sun salutation is or a warrior one. Then I would recommend starting with that. And then if you're like, okay, I want a little bit more, try a basic class and then like a flow class. We also have some other traditional classes. Yes.
How many, like a week, do you recommend?
How many a week? I would say
Classes.
2 to 3. To start with, I would start with like 2. You guys get your first week free if you've never been there. So just come and try as many different classes. On our website, you can go on there and on our schedule. If you click on the name of the class, it will give you a description. So you'll know, okay, maybe that class might not be for me. or that way you can figure out, is this going to be a little more challenging? Is this going to be, you can always call our studio or send us an email and we will get back to you guys and let you know too. I have people call me every day. I want to try this class, what's it like? Or I've never tried yoga, what should I do? And we'll guide you through that. And that's part of our culture too, is like,
And most of
we're
our
there for you
students
guys,
are there
yeah.
2-3 times a week. We have some that come every day.
Yeah.
We have some that come twice a day.
Yeah, we do. And that's
Yeah.
kind of like the membership is you get an unlimited yoga pass. You can come as much as you want. And it really makes sense if you're coming at least twice a week to do that. Because then you get to come as much as you want to any class. And that will also apply for our downtown location. You can go to both sites. So, and our downtown studio is actually going to be like a hot yoga studio. So the classes are going to be like heated. Not all of them, but a lot of them are going to be heated.
I'm sorry, where in downtown?
It's gonna be, it's like off 13th and O Street, so basically it's in an alleyway. Do you guys know where Barrymore's is? It's right across from there, in the alleyway. So it's, gonna open November 1st, but we'll have a lot of hot classes there. And hot yoga, it's just that the room will be about 90, 95 degrees, and that heat just really detoxifies the body. So.
You either love it or you hate it.
We do. I guess not every single class down there will be heated. We also have a few out south that are heated. So that's an option. They just won't be as, I don't know, the difference in the heat will be a little different, but they do. So, yeah, great question though. No, you do not need to mark for that.
So how long does a typical class?
Sure. So about an hour. I mean, traditionally a yoga class lasts about 2 hours, but we live in the Western world, that's just how we are. And so about an hour. We do have a couple classes. Our candlelight classes are an hour and 15. So we have candlelight flow, which is like an all levels flow. Let's see, it's a little bit challenging
It
from
is.
time to time. So those are every Tuesday through Thursday at 7:30 p.m. And those are an hour and 15 minutes. I also teach a class on Wednesday nights. It's called Ashtanga Mix. And so Ashtanga is a traditional type of yoga, and that one's an hour and 15 minutes. But on average, they're about an hour. In our downtown location, we're going to have 2 back-to-back noon classes, and they'll be 45 minutes. So you can come. It's just going to be like a really quick class. So it'll be really great over the noon hour. So that's the only one. But yeah, typically hour 15, and then those classes. But our noon classes out here are about an hour. But we always, Shavasana is a very important part of the practice, but if you needed to leave early because of work or you say you had a meeting, we're very understanding and respectful of that. I have students that come in like right at 12 o'clock and I'm like, just put your mat down, I'm going to go start class, and just sneak right in. Like, we're not, going to say, you can't come in
No.
because of this, or you can't leave. No, we understand.
And we start on time
Yeah.
and we end on time,
We
so
do.
we'll respect your time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're just, we're understanding. It's like sometimes I can only get in a half an hour class, so it's like, we want you to stay and do your yoga practice for you, but if there's a day that it happens that you can't make it because you have to leave 5 minutes early, that's no problem. So, yeah. Any other questions about the different styles of yoga? No? Okay. Okay, so this is another picture of Mary Claire. So, her mom is, again, one of our other owners, and she's my business partner as well, and she's a super, super cool lady. She wanted to be here today, but she couldn't. She was in Scottsdale. She comes back every now and then, but so she says a healthy employee is a productive employee, which is so true. And I feel like that's why even at Lotus, all of our employees, we just love coming to work and being there because we get to do yoga all the time. So it kind of naturally happens, but we're also very highly productive. So again, Lotus House of Yoga offers corporate memberships to those companies that are dedicated to creating a work environment that enhances a person's well-being. And I know that I've talked a lot with Chad and with Carly a little bit about, I know Jake Muehlheisen really well, and Angie Muehlheisen is actually one of our members. She's so awesome, and it's just Union Bank's a really, really great culture and a great business. And so that's one of the reasons we want to come to you guys today and present and say, hey, we have this awesome program that you can take advantage of at Lotus, and we'd love for you to be a part of it. So we have different models of implementation, including providing yoga classes on site. Like I mentioned earlier, we could come in to like a conference room like this over the lunch hour and teach a class. We also have like a discounted annual membership for employees. So typically how it works, if a company can have 5 or more people sign up for a membership, then everybody gets this special discount. So the typical membership at Lotus is $108 per month. But for corporations or special businesses, it's only $65 a month. So it's a really, really nice chunk there. And the membership also includes 20% off workshops, 20% off our retail. We have a full retail shop that has yoga clothes in it. We have like the coolest top like Lululemon, Spiritual Gangster. We also have our own brand of clothing called Vibe Tribe Gear. Lots of fun stuff. And we sell like essential oils and things like that. So you get 20% off all of those products, and then also 20% off private yoga sessions. So if you'd ever, say you take a beginner's yoga class, you're like, well, I'm just not quite connecting. I want to learn more. You can schedule a private yoga class, or with one of our instructors like Amy or myself, or one of our other master teachers. Or say you have like a group of people, like I've had women before, like I have 4 friends and we just want to get together and do a fun activity, and they'll do a private yoga session. Amy actually taught like a baby shower one time. They had it at Lotus, and she led the whole group.
Grandmas, little babies, like 30 women. It was really fun.
Yeah. So we do a lot of things like that. I've done wedding showers. I had a group of like Arbonne ladies come in one time. That was really fun. I actually had a family last year over Christmas. They just wanted to get their entire family together that was from out of town. So one was like an ex-football player. It was so cute. I love him. So anybody could do yoga, But yeah, so that's the spiel on the membership. It's a very like special pass just for like certain businesses. So yeah. Any questions about the pass? It's unlimited yoga, so you can come to as many classes as you want.
I guess this is a question for Carly. How would we know if we qualify for the 65? I mean, how would tell you that we're interested?
We do have over 5.
Yeah,
right,
you
signed
guys
up,
do. So you already have the deal. So basically, you just need to
that
sign
is
up.
exactly.
So you would just come into our studio, let us know that you work for Union Bank, and I don't know if you guys have like a card. I know everybody that signed up so far. I knew they worked for them.
Mhm.
It's not a big deal, but you would just tell us, and we'll get you signed up.
Thank you.
Easy peasy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you have just individual classes too, or just the monthly membership?
So we do, yes. If you choose not to do the membership, we have like a 5-class pass, which is $60. So that kind of equals out. Like I said, it's a really big discount. We have a 10-class pass that's about $110, and then a 30-class pass that's $30. So also, if you have a family member that, like a husband or a wife or a child, or that you want to add on to your pass, we can also do like a prorated and make up like a family pass for you too. A typical family pass is $150 per month, but you guys would also get a discount on that. So
It's a really nice deal.
yeah, it's a great deal. It's an awesome deal. So we have a lot of families that actually come together, like husband and wives that come. Amy's husband goes her classes every
Almost up to all of them.
He's always there, and we have some families that like bring in their teenagers. I've even had a girl that was like as young as 12 come, and not all the time. Like kids that age are still kind of exploring, but we're not that interested. But yeah, so it's a great deal. That's the last one. Okay. Yeah. So I think what we were gonna do is
Do a little yoga.
do a little yoga.
Do you guys want to do it?
Little yoga. Yeah.
Let's do it right in the chair. You don't take your shoes off.
No.
Leave our shoes on.
Yeah.
So to start, just kind of climb yourself up to the very edge of your seat and let your feet go flat to the floor. And this is stuff that you can do at your desk when you're feeling a little tension. You guys have enough room?
Yeah. So you'll sit right on the edge of your seat.
Okay. And then for a moment, just close the eyes and bring one hand to the heart and the second hand to the belly. And this might be the first time you paid attention to your breath, maybe all day. So you're going to take a breath into that hand at your belly and let it go really round like a balloon. And when you're ready to exhale, just draw the navel into the spine. Do that twice more. So inhale, belly rises. Exhale, belly draws in. And then once more. And you're going to take your hands to your rib cage. So your fingers rest on your floating ribs, and the heels of your hands come to the sides of your ribs. And you're going to breathe really wide. So you're going to inhale. And like an accordion, your rib cage will open. And then when you're ready to exhale, to see if you can knit your ribs kind of closer together. And do that twice more. So you're feeling that full range of motion in the lungs. Why it's so healing. We hardly ever use our full capacity. One more. And we'll return the hands back to where they were, one to the heart, one to the belly. And see if you can keep your belly and your ribs a little bit soft and focus the breath into the hand at your heart. So your breastbone's going to lift, and then it's going to soften back. And in yoga, we're typically breathing in and out through the nose with the soft seal of the lips. Do 2 more. Last final big breath. Just let your hands rest to the lap and just notice. It works pretty easy. Deep breath, calm mind. You can let your eyes open. We'll just do a little bit for the wrist. So stretch your right arm out and grab hold of it with your left hand. Your palm will face up. And you're going to just start to pump your fingers a little bit. Yeah. Good. So you guys type a lot? Yeah, I teach a lot of corporate yoga, and this is the biggest complaint. Shoulder pain, neck pain, wrist pain. Go ahead and turn the hand upside down, keep squeezing. And it feels a little counterintuitive to make your hand this tired, but you're building a little strength there. Just do a couple more pumps, and now just relax and feel the difference in your hand. You can feel that energy shift, what we call prana. We'll do it to the other side so we get nice and balanced. So take a little squeeze. And start to pump. This would be what maybe you call a kundalini exercise, a little kriya, a little action. Good, now turn the palm down and keep squeezing. Good. And then just let it go. You can kind of shake out the wrists a little bit. Good, it's nice, right? You do that all the time. Now you're going to interlace your hands and push the palms away from you, and then inhale, take a nice stretch up overhead. Good, you can feel how your ribs lift away from your pelvis. And you can take a little side reach up and over to the right, up and over to the left. And then you can let your hands just melt down in front of you. You can use your chair for a little twist. Just kind of grab on, back of the chair and the arm. And then draw your navel in. We'll twist to both sides, so it doesn't matter what side you go to. Good. And see if you can lift up out of your low back a little bit. For some of us, we'll be able to twist the chin over the back shoulder. For some of us, that'll just be too much, so just keep your chin right over your sternum. And inhale, get nice and tall through the spine. And exhale, the navel draws back. And can you feel your internal organs getting a little squeezed? Kind of wringing them out a little bit. Good. And then we'll take it to the other side. We always do everything twice, once to each side. So just like in banking, we're reconciling, right? We forward fold, we backward fold. We twist to the right, we twist to the left. Good. And then come back to center. Now, depending on what we're wearing today, this might or might not happen. But you could cross your right ankle on top of your left leg and just give yourself a little forward fold, and you can feel a little stretch in that right hip.
And sitting in chairs all day can be really taxing on your back and your hips. So in yoga, we do a ton of hip opening poses. It's so great for your back. It's very debilitating for your back. Yeah.
She's going to serve. You can't always do it depending on where we were. Let's switch out the legs. Yeah. You can just kind of hang heavy. And really, if you were just doing it, no one would know. You're just like, oh, I'm just picking up a paper clip. You're fine. It's just yoga. Slow down. Good. And then from here, if you wanted to, see how this goes, you can grab hold to the legs of your chair and really let your head drop. Yeah.
You can get back.
You can get back there far enough. Good. There you go. So you feel that.
Watch your head when you come up.
Yeah, be mindful as you come on up. And we'll do one last little thing here. Let's just stand up. Stood for a while. Shake it out a little bit. And we'll do a nice big shoulder opener. So you're going to take your arms, little cactus pose. So you're going to cross your right elbow on top of your left elbow. And just give yourself a little hug. Or you might be able to raise the forearms up and the back of the hands touch. Some of us can find the double wrap, eagle arms. Good, now you're going to lift your elbows to the height of your shoulders. And can you feel that nice stretch in the back body? Yeah, it's good. And then if you're in yoga class, we would add on a little balance, and you'd cross your leg too, right? You can try it if you want. Yeah, you can stand on your left leg and cross your right thigh on top. Yeah, good. Hard again if you're in the skirt and the heels. Yeah. Yeah. And then just gently melt your arms and unwind them. Shake them out a little bit, and then that second side. Yep, so you can be right here. This is perfect. We come to yoga to relieve tension, right? So if we get you in a pose and you're like, this is too much tension, then that's your sign to ask for a modification. Good. Take a big breath into the back of the heart if you wanted to play around with just standing on a leg, maybe crossing the thigh over. Good. When we practice balancing poses on the mat, it really enhances your concentration, and you'll realize in everyday life how you can really hone in. Good. And then you get to let that go. Feels nice, right? Yeah. Anything else, Sarah, that you can think of that's a fun desk yoga thing?
I like to do some cat cow stuff.
Just
so when you're
seated,
sitting
yeah.
down, like this is really good for your back. Just putting your palms on your thighs and just lifting, like spreading your heart, and then you can pull on your knees and then pull back. Tuck your chin into your chest. So inhale and then exhale. Inhale and then exhale. Yeah, just like that. Nice, you guys. And literally, like, do those exercises, you'll just feel rejuvenated and more ready to focus, and it's great. It really is.
You can pop into a headstand too. If you
Yeah,
want.
do that. Or you can do legs up the walls from your office, shut the door. You know, somebody comes in, just be like, I'm busy. So, I'm relieving stress. But yeah, so it's great. Again, I just want to hit home that we have classes for everybody. I think that the first step is just walking into the door and kind of letting go of any ideas that you have about a yoga class. Come in with an open mind and just try it out, or at least try a couple classes, because that first class you might think, now I want to try this one, and that's the great thing. We just have a variety. We actually have a lot of guys that come to yoga. Like, how many did you have in your 6 a.m. class today?
I think I had like 15 people, and half of them were men.
Mm-hmm. So it's not just for women.
Yeah.
So, for guys, or if you have a husband or, yes, a friend or somebody, like bring them with. A great way also to try yoga is bring a friend with you. If you've never done it before, bring your friend. You'll have a lot of fun. I know for like that beginner's class that we just tell people, like, bring your friend, try it out over gentle flow. We have a lot of women that older guys that come too, and they just like to do it. I love to do gentle flow every now and then just because I need that relaxing part, because I do like a lot of the powers and stuff, but I need to tone that down, I need a balance, and that's what yoga is about, is balance. And balance doesn't necessarily mean everything's perfect. It just means that you can exist and feel good with everything that's going on, because let's face it, nothing's ever going to be perfect in life, and, so it's just a better way to really just feel good in the moment and just appreciate life in general, so. We do have another new class that's starting next week. It's called Noon Flow. So every Tuesday through Thursday, it's a noon class, and it's like the same sequence every time. And it's going to be challenging, but it's also a way for if you're learning the poses, or if you're wanting also like a vigorous workout over the noon hour, it's a perfect class to go to, because you can come in and you'll know the sequence every time. That way you don't have to think about what you're going to be learning that day. And you can really start to, over time, like see yourself get more flexible, and like see yourself do the arm balance, which everybody, I know it, I never believed I could ever do an arm balance until I was like, yes I can, and I did it. You know what I mean? So it's just over time, you just grow. And if you don't want to do that in your yoga practice, then come and breathe and just do, go to a basic flow or a beginner flow. That's it. Any type of yoga will benefit you. So I could go on and on, but any more questions?
Yeah. Do you have a recommendation? So if you work out already,
Yeah.
and then how do you incorporate this into your workout in regards to not just overutilizing maybe like your shoulder area, or what recommendations?
Yeah,
do you
for
have?
sure. So I would say, and you can probably piggyback on this, that we have a lot of runners that come, and so they'll pick like a particular class and go. So they'll come like about twice a week, maybe on the day that they're not running, or if they just got done with a long run, they might go to a restorative class on a Sunday or something like that. And so it's kind of like you just have to figure out what days you want to incorporate that in. And most of the classes that we do are going to, I know there's a couple instructors that like to focus on one anatomy part, and you might not know that until you go, but I believe in fate, so if you go to that class, there's a reason that you're there anyway. But But yeah, so a lot of the classes are designed to work all of the body parts. So say you have tight shoulders that day and we're doing this in a class, you might just not go the full way, or you go to what feels good, right? So we'll teach you how to modify that
It's
as well.
just a great compliment for runners, for really any other kind of activity you do.
Yeah. Yeah, we have like some weight trainers that come and they're just so tight from, you know, constant like repetition of like bicep or the quad. And so we do a lot of stretching of like the psoas muscles and the hips. So it really helps enhance their practice actually, or your workout routine.
We have lots of people that ride their bike to the studio. I have a group of women that before my 6 a.m. class, they go and run 6 miles and then come. And it's a challenging 6 a.m. class.
Yeah.
And it's just a good compliment.
It really is. And anything also, it'll increase your
I don't do
physical
that.
activity because it helps to prevent injury as well. Because again, these poses are scientifically designed for your body. So you're gonna be hearing cues in a class like keep your knee right over your ankle because that stabilizes your knee rather than pushing it forward or pulling it back. Like we teach yoga to the football team every Sunday after a game, and it's a recovery class because you think about like the impact on their bodies and the strength training that they do, and we're seeing wonderful things with them. You know, I mean, they're still going to get injured from time to time because, let's face it, they're putting their bodies through a lot of activity. But as far as like breath and just preventing injury as much as you can just by being mindful.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. I think of the other, sorry, go ahead. I just, I've gone to your like first week free, and it is great, but it's the lingo is very different.
Right,
So
Sanskrit is a whole other
I would
language.
encourage people to go to
Oh yeah, yeah.
those
Thank you
basic
for
classes
bringing
that you have first.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll hear words like Virabhadrasana 1 and Chaturanga Dandasana and that is just purely, so, we are a modern yoga studio, but our roots are very much in tradition and we respect that. And so the practice of yoga comes from India and the language is Sanskrit. And so, if it's a basic class, I am pretty mindful about not saying those words and just saying, try tree pose instead of Vrikshasana or warrior one pose, And don't worry about that. You guys, over time, like as you do yoga, you'll understand when we say, what's warrior one? And if we spit something else out and you don't get it, don't worry about it. You're not doing anything wrong. We'll show you what to do. We'll give you the cues. So usually we'll say like, okay, warrior one, and then we'll tell you exactly what to do with your body. So pull your right hip back, reach your
But it is,
arms up.
it's a language, it's a dead language too,
Yeah.
so no one ever speaks it except
Right.
for yoga teachers.
Yes, that's a great point.
That is, and that's a good reminder for us as teachers to say English and Sanskrit.
Well, and it's just different. It's a little
Yeah.
bit intimidating, so you just want to make sure that
Yeah,
you guys know and can tell
Yeah.
people.
for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. That's a great point. Any other questions? Yes.
Do you guys have any prenatal yoga classes?
Right now, we don't have an actual prenatal class, but the gentle flow that Amy's going to be teaching, beginner's flow, or any of the basic flows are awesome. Again, all of our teachers, or a lot of our teachers, the majority of the teachers are master teachers, and we've been trained in how to help pregnant women modify. So if you come to a class, I would say, okay, you're not going to do any twisting this way. This is the way you're going to go. Or if you do this pose, I would come over to you and tell you exactly what to do.
We have pregnant women that come
Yeah,
a
we
lot.
have pregnant women that come all the time. We did have a prenatal class. It's kind of seasonal. I don't know why.
Well, because women only pregnant for 9 months,
Yeah,
so.
but it's something I've had a lot of requests for
Yeah,
lately.
we should think about bringing that
We'll
back.
probably bring it back.
Yeah, because it's
but-
nice, you can bond with other women
Mhm.
when you're all that like mind,
Yeah,
pregnant body.
sure.
Yeah.
Sure, but yeah, definitely, our basic or beginner flow classes and gentle flow, even restorative would be great for that, so, and yoga nidra as well. Any other questions? I've had some people also say, well, I don't think it's gonna be a hard enough workout for me, and I'm like, so if you're worried about that too, your heart rate will get up in like a power class or a flow class. So, yeah. And yoga is for everybody, so I would just encourage everybody just to try it, come try the first week. I think that, I might be a little biased, but it changed my life, and we see that all the time. We have over 200 members right now. We've had over 1,000 people visit the studio just in our first year, and people keep coming back because we see the changes that it's making. So, like I said, I kind of a hardcore advocate, but it's awesome. So anyway, any other questions? All right, well, thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.